Hello, I'm Will, I'm part of Fashion Fiesta, and today in the video I will talk about my fashion predictions and ideas for 2026. But just before we start that, I want to talk about Fashion Fiesta itself and what it does. The main thing with Fashion Fiesta is every year it presents a show. This year it's on March the 6th. And just to say before anything else, the tickets are on sale now, and we have a ticket sale that ends on the January 31st. You can buy tickets up to the show, but they are limited and the sale is on right now. So if you like the idea of going to a fashion show in Bradford Ilkley, then I recommend buying them now. Now, I'm going to talk about the brand itself. The overall idea of Fashion Fiesta is it's a group of fashion lovers who want to help people design the makeup, the clothes, everything about fashion and expand it into a genuine global art form, just like how music is seen as. And the whole idea is to make everyone feel welcome, everyone feel happy, and to encourage this sustainable, eco-friendly ideas. So if you like that, I recommend buying tickets and coming to the show on the 6th of March in Bradford Ilkley. Ilkley, Bradford. I hope you like the little corner set up here. So I'll split this into multiple sections. So I'll start off with like major fashion news, like major fashion ideas for the predictions. And the key one that kind of like everyone's saying that I kind of agree with how last year went and how I can see just it carrying on is maximalism. More accessories, more colours. I don't think bright colours, but I mean like more colours being used. You could probably see more lilacs, more like these like soothing lime greens being used, more jewellery, just everything just popping out more due to the fact that like things like quiet luxury is dying quite quickly, which is kind of like also a prediction that luxury kind of looks of like, yeah, this top was 400 quid, isn't going to really be a big fashion trend anymore. My next idea that I've got is there's going to be less streetwear, and specifically the idea of sports jerseys. Last year, basketball jerseys were on the rise, and for a while we've had bloke core, which was using football jerseys. Isn't going to be used much. There's not many other sports you can use. I've heard people say motorsport jackets or cycling shirts. I could see that kind of happening. But as a whole, streetwear and that idea is dying down a bit as everyone's going, we've used all the ideas. We've stretched it as far as we can from like 2016 to 2026. We've gone through all styles of jeans, all styles of colours, all styles of shirts, all styles of like outerwear, all styles of hats, different form of sports being used in streetwear. And I just see, fashion as a whole going, do we really need it? Or possibly I could see streetwear evolving into more of like an artistic style where it's still like streetwear, but the idea isn't trying to look, street cool. I've got my Yankees hat on. I've got my big bomber jacket on. I've got Timbs and these big jeans. It's gonna be more, I've got this jacket that has a spine on the back and it's got glitter to it, and the whole point of it is more of I look cool, not from natural fashion trends, but cool on the basis that these things look cool, which is kind of similar to the hypebeast era, but more original and artistic instead of just, you can tell this is, artistic because it's got Supreme on it, it's got Palace on it. It's going to be, oh, how would you find that? Or how would you even create it? And it'd be like, oh yeah, I got the inspiration from, Full Metal Jacket or something. Don't know why I thought of that movie, but, just to name a movie. And the third idea actually I've got is more volume. We're going to sort of go away from saying the buzzwords of silhouettes, proportions, and layering, and go into more colours, end. How the amount of volume you're having. How unique your shape can actually be. We go into more of the word shape, we go into the word volume, we go into the word colours, to sort of abandon these older, very basic ideas to sort of fit in with that maximalism, because the whole idea of coming in with 2026 is going to be maximalism. Because when people say 2026 and you 2016, you need to think what was big then, which was, that swag era of hypebeast stuff. Blogcore was quite big in, California, and, glitter, all these colourful looks. But yeah, I just see us going to very, pop, very visually noticeable, where your style isn't based off trends, and, everyone's wearing the same, I think it's called Akuta tiger shoes, very, the yellow ones with the black stripes. Everyone sees that everywhere. Every girl's got, a vintage leather jacket on and a red scarf, and, raw savage denim jeans, and every guy's got, a quarter zip on or something like that. It's gonna be more, I look cool because I look like I'm in a paint. I look like I'm a painting. My body is the canvas, and my art is my clothing, and my tattoos, and my hair, and my piercings, and all that. As much customization as we can possibly go through. My bad. And I just see, as a whole, more uniqueness coming through in this year. The next ideas that I've got is based off specific items and accessories. I've seen a lot of people say stuff like double belts coming in, which I think is a really good idea. I think it brings a uniqueness where you can have to do two of the same belt or two different kind of belts, to add that maximalism difference we're going to try and bring this year. But for three ideas that I brought in, the first one I thought, which is a very, potential, very blog era-esque, is independent hoods. Because in recent years, we've gone through a lot of different forms of hats. I've seen Bershka's beanies, flat caps, trucker hats. And I just see us going, we tried scarves out, and when we do scarves, we treat them like hoods. And when we do hats, we started going, deeper and bigger into the hats, where it started off with beanies, and then, caps that extend out like baseball hats. And then Bershka's, the flaps on it, you can tie it up as well, it's got more detail, and sort of that, bell curve of where we're going to start going more maximalism, where, in the future, I'm actually going to go back to minimalism, but right now, we're on the up of the bell curve. And I see that with the independent hoods of just going, right, I've got this on, I get this on, how else can I add? I'm like, well, I've got this hat, no, that's not too much, I want to add something all around my head, and, you can put, you want to have a bit more face cover to, protect you from the cold. And when you have an independent hood on, compared to a hat, it doesn't just flatten your hair out. It covers it, protects it, which when more people are, embracing more natural hairstyle, more natural curly hairstyles of cultural significance, people are going to go, I want to try and protect my hair without, just flatten it and making it look bad. A hood will provide that for you. It also can bring ideas of how can I, make it more unique? What customization can I bring to a hood compared to a hat, which is kind of just putting pins in it, really, and different forms of just it's in now, nothing else. With them, you can sort of stitch more. With hoods, you can stitch more, and obviously, you can still use the scarves and use scarf hoods as an idea. But my next idea that I've got is capes and cloaks. And I don't mean, superhero capes where you walk around don't worry, I'm here to save the day. It's going to be more of almost what kings used to wear in medieval time, with the fur on top, sleek, almost velvet-like material running down, these very colourful designs on it, very detailed, very intricate, going back into that maximalism idea I was on about. And, the bottom's also got a little bit of fur, but it brings in two sort of key points of, you can either have it, cover yourself fully, protect you from the cold, protect you from even the sunlight, if it's a thin enough, kind of cape / cloak, where in desert kind of countries, they wear very long but thin clothing pieces to protect them from the sun. And I can see us going, well, in summertime, if I want a better protective layer, I can put that on. But obviously in places like the UK, we are quite humid, so the potential of that is much lower. When it's more of a dry area, it's, a higher chance. But the whole idea of, the cover for the wind or the rain, in the autumn and winter time, some bits of spring. But also, if you just want to kind of look cool, you can just let it flow in the wind, and that's a cool look in itself. Another idea that I've got for the specific item and accessories is one that's everyone's kind of already saying, one that's like been a bit of a trend already as like the start is, brooches, pins, gems, buttons, all these kind of like different, looks of just min-max kind of accessories all over you. Where it's like you have a tie and it's like brooch, like a top for your tie to like sort of keep it in place, button, pin, and you sort of like create like this like curve swirl of buttons and pins. Like just go all over in so many different clothes. Because the good thing about these is it can just go in any form of clothes really, excluding, your underwear, but that's not really counted as fashion unless you consider, sagging and showing your underwear, that kind of fashion. But as a whole, I think it's more just embracing that maximalized idea. And as I'll keep saying it, maximalism is going to be the thing in 2026. My overall prediction is maximalism and something else I get on later at the end. But I can just see us going, I want to completely, head to toe, completely cover myself in my own unique designs and fashions. Next we got, I put general predictions of fun ideas, but this is definitely more of what I personally hope. Like the others are like things I can genuinely see happening as being trends, as being, like future changes in fashion. This is for me. This is for me. And if this ever happens, I'm going to be excited and I'll be like, I told you I was right. Don't know how I was right, but I'm right. And the first idea of that is sort of going back to that pop art style is animal wear. And I don't mean, wearing fur, but more of like when you see like leopard prints or like cheetah prints, cow prints was in like 2020. And I think 2024, there was a bit of a fawn look of like, baby deers. They're like nice brown look with like white dots. But I could see us all just going fully into it like, I want my hat to have a rhino nose. Girls might be like, oh, I want jeans to have a little bunny tail to it. To name like an actual example from a show I've watched, Arcane, the central main character Jinx, in the last episode, wears a hood that has pointy teeth and it's painted on like two eyes and creates this almost shark look. And as someone who loves sharks and who has the idea of independent hoods, I think that can work, really well into this pop art style that I think can happen. My next idea, though, is more armour. And I don't mean like armour look, where it's like, oh, my hoodie's got, a helmet look. I mean fully gauntlets, greaves, helmets, possible chest plates, like armour leggings, like properly going into like this cool look. And this, and another point where I just put medieval looks, very Tudor-esque, very Edward-esque, can just, create this whole idea of mainly, obviously, West Europe ideas of when, Napoleon even as well, actually to go past medieval ideas, Napoleon or like French Armada kind of looks of this almost proudly but fierce look that they all brought in that time. This is editing Will here. A part of the recording got corrupted, so there's a bit of a jump here, but in it I talk about more like West European, like ballerina, delicate outfits. So when I start saying stuff that sounds like I'm just talking nonsense out of nowhere, that explains where it's come from. The corrupted file has gone. Is cultural outfits. I was saying before West Europe and, that the delicate lace style of ballerina looks in France, or, that almost military look of puffiness, but still having a bit of, maintaining your protection look, or you just go for that medieval look for your, like, culture. I could just see us going, yeah, I'm proud of that. And even in other countries, like Japan, for example, bring kimonos into your natural style instead of just, oh, it's a traditional thing, you can't wear it like that. Now, obviously, I'm not Japanese and I can't speak for Japanese people, but I can see people trying to innovate, the past, the present to create the future. because that's what we should be doing. You know, we should be going, how can we make this and this into this, but then also bring this and this into this and bring them all together collectively as sort of an amalgamation of fashion. Try and constantly think of what has been, what's currently being, and what will be, and trying to make them all the now and the future while making them the past, due to you wear it, it's a thing now, and then it's in the past, obviously. Another idea that's the most personal idea that I have is a very carnival jester look. If you want to name like an example, The Greatest Showman, for example, or if you want to look at Panic at the Disco's first album, how they dressed then, that's very similar. You know, very showman, very, you know, flaunty, flamboyant. Because, you know, for the last couple of years, there's always been like slight little references to the Napoleon jacket, you know, this like black jacket with like this yellow, almost gold look of like rope. And I can see it just going fully into it and going, right, following that volume idea I had, following the maximalism idea I had, you know, that unique look that everyone wants to bring, that pop art. Some people might just go, I want to dress like a jester. I want to look fun. I want to look whimsical. I want to look, you know, like I'm me. I'm a funny person, and this is a fun look that I want. Even if it's just, you know, just like the shoulder, like the you know, the boosted shoulders with the thin arms, or like the very like almost hourglass like natural shape it brings of like big push shoulders. You could go in and then you like big pantaloons kind of look. And I'm saying that mainly because that's sometimes how I want to dress, and it's not a real main option. But you know, fun idea nonetheless. And the last idea that I could also actually see happening, but is more of something that I want to see happening, but can definitely happen going on with the ideas of brooches and pins and, you know, maximalism and colours, is this crocheted, stitched pop look. I'm talking volume and pop art style, like having a jacket and then having like a crocheted spine going at the back of it, that like sort of wraps around, like sticks to your side, bit of your side, like here. Or as I said, you know, alien antennas in the jacket. Your trousers can have like wings pop out. You know, all these unique ideas of like creating your fashion. You can buy the templates and then make your own additions. So it's not, oh, where'd you get that from? It's, how'd you make that? Because that sounds cooler. It sounds like you're really into fashion more. It sounds like you actually put care and dedication into this art form. Because that's what fashion is. It's an art form. It's like music. It's like making movies, making video games even. All these things are art forms because it's expression of the soul. But overall, the main idea that I feel like is going to happen in 2026 is not that these trends are going to be trends, but they're going to be personal changes, and everyone's going to slowly start doing more independent styles. And it's going to be more of, instead of just two different branches, you know, normal style and like alt style, it's like, oh, goth, punk, grunge, sleaze, indie sleaze, and then it's like business wear, work wear, like two like mixed separate branches, streetwear, active wear. It's just going to be a massive tree, like just obviously I don't have enough figures for this. You know, this constant just spreading look of just going more and more and more unique, where in the future, mixed with cultural ideas and artistic ideas, we just go for these complete unique looks where we stop going mass produce this and start going, I've got an idea of this, I want to try this out, see how the public thinks about it, see how everyone works with it, how people make their own ideas with it, and more people go, I like this, I think I can make this change with it, I've had this idea to add this to this piece of clothing. And obviously I'm, you know, being vague with it because everyone had different ideas. Some people might have thought hats, some people might have thought jeans, some people might have thought jackets, some people might have thought t-shirts, some people might have shoes, bags, any form of accessories into different ideas. So two people could have thought jeans, and someone thought, I want to add thorn, like a thorn look to it. You know, wrap a thorn around your leg, and then have like, you know, crocheted spikes pop out, and then at the top, you know, have two roses where you put your hands in the pockets. And someone else might go, as I was saying before, with the alien look, you know, the space look, or someone might think, I might go into that medieval idea and add armour to it. And that's, just genius. That's not even just trousers of like different ideas of like joggers or slack, kind of like, slack business trousers. And I just see us all going, you know what? I want to have fun. Let me have fun with this. Let me enjoy it. This is my art form and I love it. One last note before I finish. Check out all the social medias. We've got Facebook, we've got Instagram, we've got TikTok, we've got LinkedIn. You can check all these things. Check our website. All these links in the description. So is the tickets. Will come. Leave a comment on your fashion predictions. I'd love to see everyone else's. If you think my fashion predictions are wrong and a bit silly, say it. Say what you think is going to be big. If got more of a general basic fashion idea, you think pinstripe's going to be big. Say it. Say what you think. Because the whole point of this is it's an art form and it's about expression and, showing yourself. So obviously, if you want to show who you are, then comment it and, bring more interaction as it can help build a community for Fashion Fiesta and make it into something great.